Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be reviewing WrestleMania Backlash 2021. Pretty good show. Let's get into it. So before we get into any of this stuff, let's start with the Kickoff Show. So on the Kickoff Show, we had Sheamus have an open challenge, and Ricochet came out. And even though Ricochet lost at the end, Ricochet got the best of Sheamus. He beat him up or something and put his coat and hat on. I didn't watch the Kickoff Show, but I saw the thing on Instagram that apparently Ricochet was standing tall. He didn't hold up the United States Championship, but I felt like that would look better. But yeah, so Ricochet might be in a feud with Sheamus now because Humberto Carrillo is injured, so that's good. And then the actual show started, and the first match was surprisingly Rhea Ripley versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. So the whole thing was no one wanted Charlotte in the match, not even Rhea and Asuka, and then she got added, and everyone thought for sure Charlotte was going to win. But that was not the case. Rhea Ripley actually retained the Raw Women's Championship. It came down to Charlotte on the apron with Asuka, and Asuka threw Charlotte off. Then Asuka ran over to Rhea Ripley and got hit with a Riptide 1, 2, 3. And Rhea Ripley retained the Raw Women's Championship. And then she got on the top rope and was taunting Charlotte, and Charlotte pointed at the title. So it seems like we might be getting them at the next pay-per-view, which for some reason is Hell in a Cell. We're getting Hell in a Cell on June 20th or something like that. Why? Wasn't Hell in a Cell just last October? Why are we getting it in June now? I don't know. That's weird. But yeah, Rhea Ripley is still the Raw Women's Champion. So that was one prediction right. Then after that, we were going to get Rey Mysterio and Dominik Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. But they showed us a clip of earlier today, and Dominik got beat up by Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. They dumped something on him and beat him up. And the doctor was saying Dominik couldn't compete, so Rey Mysterio had to fight on his own. So it was a 2-on-1 handicap match, and this was a really good match. They were just bullying Rey, but he kept kicking out. Eventually, Dominik Mysterio walks down the ramp with him clutching his ribs and stuff, but he can still fight. So then Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode are bullying him too. And then eventually, Dominik finally tacked himself in and he starts beating up them. And then it came down to Rey and Dominik. Rey hit a 619 on Dolph Ziggler, and then Dominik Mysterio hit a frog splash on Robert Roode. And Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode lose the titles to Rey and Dominik. And yeah, the Mysterios are the first ever father-son tag team champions. Then after that, we saw John Morrison talking to Miz about how he's going to go talk to the Lumberjacks and make sure that they let Miz win. So then he goes to the Lumberjack locker room and he opens the door and there's a bunch of freaking zombies. Yeah, that's right. Zombies. The whole thing, this was a big promotion for Batista's new movie. Something like Army of Dead or whatever, or I don't remember what it was, but basically about zombies and stuff. So the Lumberjack match that Damian Priest chose, the Lumberjacks would be zombies. So then we got that match, and it came down to Damian Priest and The Miz in the middle of the ring after they just fought a ton of zombies, but one got hold of John Morrison and took him. Then Damian Priest won the match, and the zombies came in and ate The Miz? I don't know, but yeah, that's weird. We literally had zombies eat The Miz, who, by the way, was the WWE champion two and a half months ago, and now he's getting eaten by zombies. So, yeah. Then after that, we had Bianca Belair versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and this was a pretty good match. And then towards the end, Bayley kept grabbing Bianca Belair's hair, used her hair to hit a Bayley to belly, and almost pinned her, but Bianca kicked out. Then Bayley was holding onto her hair, but Bianca pulled her in and rolled her up and used her own hair as leverage. And then Bayley was telling the ref and Michael Cole and the commentators and everything that Bianca Belair cheated. So, yeah, Bayley kept complaining to the referees that Bianca cheated. But Bianca is still your SmackDown Women's Champion. Then we saw Jimmy Uso walk into Jay and Roman Reigns' locker room. And on the door, it just says Roman Reigns' locker room. So Jimmy was saying how it should say Roman and Jay. And instead of that, it should be Jimmy and Jay, SmackDown Tag Team Champions. And they should leave Roman Reigns. And he goes, speaking of him, where's the tribal chief? Roman Reigns shows up and he goes, what do you want? And Jimmy Uso just says, I just wanted to wish you good luck in your match against Cesaro. Then we saw Jimmy and Jay talking in the hallway, and Jimmy was saying, leave Roman and let us run SmackDown. And Jay said, I don't really want to hear it right now. So Jimmy Uso walked out on him. and Jay was pretty mad. Then after that, we had Bobby Lashley versus Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. And this was a pretty good match too. You know, Braun Strowman, a bunch of big guys, they're just destroying the whole arena. But what happened was Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley were up at the top of the stage fighting, and Drew McIntyre actually threw Bobby Lashley through the LED screen, so Bobby Lashley was gone. Then Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre were fighting, and Braun Strowman powerbombed Drew McIntyre through the announce table, then threw Drew McIntyre into the ring, and Drew McIntyre hit a Claymore on Braun Strowman, and then Bobby Lashley grabbed Drew McIntyre and threw him out of the ring and hit a spear on Braun Strowman. So Bobby Lashley wins the match, and he's supposed to be all dominant, but so far, every time he wins the match, it's because of someone's help. Like at WrestleMania, he beat Drew McIntyre because MVP distracted him, and then at Backlash, he beat Braun Strowman because Drew McIntyre did all the work. So we're definitely going to get Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre again down the line where Drew's going to win. But right now, Bobby Lashley is still your WWE champion. And then after that, we had the main event, and this match was really long, actually. But it came down to Roman Reigns locking in the guillotine on Cesaro because the whole storyline of the match was Roman Reigns attacking Cesaro's arm. So what happened was Cesaro got thrown out of the ring by Roman Reigns and landed right on his arm, so his arm was hurt. Then Roman Reigns kept pulling Cesaro's arm on the turnbuckle and giving it like rope burn or whatever. So Cesaro's arm was injured the whole time. That was the whole story of the match. Then Roman Reigns locks in the guillotine choke. Cesaro powers out, but Roman Reigns holds on and eventually. Then after that, we had the main event, which was Roman Reigns versus Cesaro for the Universal Championship. And the whole story of the match was Cesaro injured his arm, and Roman Reigns was targeting it the whole time. And there was no Usos because Roman Reigns was saying, Jay, you're not sure that I can beat Cesaro either, are you? So he goes, instead of you coming out here, how about you go look for your own brother? So Jay walked out, and Roman Reigns came down here without Jey Uso's help, and he beat Cesaro without Jey Uso's help. He locked in the guillotine. Cesaro powered out a couple times, but Roman Reigns wouldn't let go, and eventually Cesaro passed out. Then, after that, Jey Uso comes down, puts the like necklace thing or whatever around Roman Reigns' neck. Then he says, let me get him. So he super kicks Cesaro, goes to the top rope for a frog splash, and then Seth Rollins comes out. So you think he's gonna help Cesaro, right? Nope. He looks at Roman Reigns, laughs, walks past him, and then he beats up Cesaro, throws him over the announce table, hits him with a chair a couple times, and then puts his arm in the chair and slams it against the ring post, and then curb stomps him. And Cesaro and Seth Rollins ended the show, actually. So are we gonna get a triple threat match at Hell in a Cell? Are we gonna get Cesaro versus Seth Rollins and then Roman Reigns versus Jimmy Uso at Hell in a Cell? Because I don't know. What I think is going to happen is, since the next pay-per-view is Hell in a Cell, remember, Jimmy Uso did not acknowledge Roman Reigns until Hell in a Cell because of Jimmy Uso. So what I think is going to happen is that the next pay-per-view, it's going to be Roman Reigns versus Jimmy Uso again in a Hell in a Cell match, I Quit match, whatever, instead of Jay. And the same thing is going to happen. Jimmy is going to have to fall in line because he's going to have to quit. I don't know what's going to happen, but I feel like that's got to be what they're doing. Because why would they just randomly bring Hell in a Cell back when they have so many other pay-per-views they could do? Like June, they could have done Money in the Bank or something, or Extreme Rules. I don't know why they brought Hell in a Cell back. They've got to be doing it for a reason. So that's my prediction for that. But yeah, those were my that was my review, and those are the results of WrestleMania Backlash 2021. Let's hope it's not called WrestleMania Backlash next year, but it wasn't the end of the world. But in my honest opinion, this show was pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. The only thing I didn't really like was the zombie thing. I think that was kind of stupid because you obviously they're not zombies, they're just people in makeup. And also the fact that this match was really good, but it was also kind of slow, and that Cesaro didn't really get to do a lot of cool stuff like he did to Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. So that was another thing. But other than that, the show was really good, and the match was still really good. Don't get me wrong, this match was still really good. But I think it could have been just a little bit better, like with faster pacing. But that's what Roman Reigns does. He walks around and talks and stuff. He doesn't really have fast-paced matches. But it was a good match. But overall, that was my review. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe, turn on the post notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.